because I spent quite a lot of time editing out your sniffles from episode 3.
Flight 815 crash landed, but where there's weird jungle noises and a polar bear.
What the fuck is going on over there?
Helen
And Alex
will guide you through. If you've seen Lost 20 times,
or if you're brand new,
welcome to our show. It's
Dharma Fish Biscuits.
Hello, and welcome to Dharma Fish Biscuits, your new favourite Lost podcast.
We're your hosts, Helen and Alex. We're going episode by episode, spoiler free, bringing you all the hot takes no one ever asked for.
You can find us on Instagram at Dharma Fish Biscuits Pod, email us on dharmafishbiscuitspod@gmail.com, join our Patreon for free at patreon.com/dharmafishbiscuits for some occasional inside info and bonuses.
Instead of going beat by beat, we aim to focus our conversation on the character the episode centres around. Then we'll circle back to what we missed.
This week, it's a Locke episode. Season 1, Episode 4, Walkabout.
Walkabout!
But before we get to our episode this week, we've got an exciting new little segment with an exciting new little jingle. Hit that jingle, please.
This message hasn't been playing on a loop for 16 years. Someone just emailed it to us.
It's our first listener email, Helen. What an exciting moment for us. We've got an email from Ray. Would you like to read this email for us, Helen?
I would love to. Thank you, Ray, for writing into us. What a great honour for you to be the first email read out on our podcast. Ray wrote in about episode 2 and says, I came to provide some clarity on the heroin in the shoe thing because I don't know how to let anything go.
Relatable content.
We hear you, Ray. The shoes off at TSA policy was actually because of a failed shoe bomb attempt in 2001, not the Unabomber. And it didn't take place until August 2006, so it wasn't a thing yet. Also, they were leaving Australia to come to America, so they wouldn't have gone through TSA anyway. I think this is some kind of like collective false memory thing, because I feel like I actually don't know anything about the Unabomber, but in my mind, it's an association I have between Unabomber and take your shoes off. So I clearly have heard that somewhere else, and it's just like fastened itself.
Yeah, I was going to say, no offence,
culture.
I am putting the blame for the Unabomber credit solely on you, because I know nothing about the Unabomber and don't believe I mentioned them. However, I'm like super surprised that the shoe thing didn't happen till 2006. I guess I would have been 13 at that point. But like, I was going on holiday.
The shoe thing has never been a consistent thing in like the UK or the EU. It's been more of like an airport by airport basis. Some of them do it, some of them don't.
Yeah. I don't know. I still refuse to believe that like somehow someone somewhere wouldn't have found just a loose bag of heroin in a shoe. But that's just me. Maybe 2004 was a completely different world. Thank you, Ray, for being our first ever listener email on the pod. If you would also like to be featured on the pod, please email us. We'd love that. We'd be super happy.
We love it. Thank you.
Dharma Fish Biscuits Pod@gmail.com. That's where you can email shit to us.
This episode was great. It was one of those episodes, I mean, this is like a pretty common experience on Lost, especially season 1, I feel like. But where the episode ended, I was just like, that was fucking great. What a good episode.
The episode ended and I'm like, let's watch the next one. No, we must save it. Yeah, this episode absolutely rules. I love it. I had a great time with it. I always have a great time with it. I cannot wait to talk about it, and I will do my best to not talk about it for 3 hours.
It was funny because you were really jazzed for it, and I kind of like, I hadn't really thought about it that much. I was just like, yeah, Walkabout. It's Locke. It's, wheelchair. And I guess because it has been quite a while since I watched the show, I didn't like really remember like that it is an incredibly well crafted and extremely like narratively satisfying. Like it has all these story beats that make it such a perfect like episode of TV. Apart from the actual content of what's being revealed, it's just like, I loved it. I enjoyed it.
Good. I respect all of that, but also the fucking reveal at the end just gets me every single time.
I mean, it's hard once you've seen it. You can only see it the first time once, you know what I mean? And it's hard to kind of put yourself back in the mental position of what was it like to see that reveal the first time. The first shot of the episode is another eye. It's giving season 1, episode 1, close up on the eye.
Yes.
And that's not, you know, we're going to have a few of these examples as we continue to go through the show as well. By the way, this episode was written by David Fury.
Was it?
That's a Buffy guy, right?
He is a Buffy guy, big Buffy guy.
One of the most Buffyest guys you could find.
I feel like very big in, I want to say like, he's in my head for season 5, but I don't know specifically why. Go Fish, Helpless, Choices, Fear Itself, Doomed, The Iron Team, Primeval, Real Me, Shadow, Crush, Bargaining Part 2, Live Serial, Gone, Grave, Sleeper, Showtime, Lies My Parents Told Me. Oh my god.
Some good ones in there.
Oh, that's interesting. Lies My Parents Told Me was with Drew Goddard, who I believe also writes for Lost at one point. Yeah, in season 3.
Wow, okay.
Sorry, I'm falling down.
This has been IMDb Corner.
It's actually been Buffy Wiki Corner, but sure.
Oh, even better. Okay, anyway.
This episode is written by David Fury. What a great Buffy guy.
Anyway. So we open on the eye close up.
And he's like, lifts his head up and like looks down and his foot moves.
And we'll see him back in this position later in the episode again. And we've already seen him do it previously as well. Like we've already had this kind of hammered into us a little bit that like there's something going on here.
Yeah. Well, I think it's really well done because maybe I'm just stupid, but it's like, is there something going on here? And it's like, if you know, you know, but also it could quite realistically, I feel, be someone who like has simply just been in a plane crash and been like, oh my god, am I okay? Can I move my legs? Can I move my feet? Great, I'm alive.
Yeah, true. So let's go back to the top of the first flashback. I just wanted to say in general about the flashback storyline. It was so well crafted. It was so beautifully done how each one contains a little reveal and then it builds onto the next one and you add it, like you're peeling away the layers of the onion and getting deeper and deeper into the core of Locke's like trauma and deeper parts of his personality, which are very much characterized by a sort of delusional, quite pathetic. I thought a lot about how like it comes later in one of the flashbacks where he says, I have a therapist. And I thought, well, they fucking suck because you are not dealing with the circumstances that life has dealt with you very well at all. You need some like cognitive behavioral therapy.
It's really hard. It's really hard to like think about him and like at this moment in time without thinking about where he goes in the future, because he still has this like such strong belief in himself. And he is like muttering the name of that guy who I forgot the name of. But he's muttering the name when Randy's like, you can't do any of that shit. And he's muttering the name of that guy who... Norman Croucher. Yes, who climbed Everest?
Yeah, it was like a double amputee who climbed Everest, I think.
Yeah.
Are you Googling?
I'm really sorry, but I am actually Googling it. Wait, I was like, Wikipedia doesn't actually mention Everest here, and I've just Control-F'd Everest. And on Norman Croucher's Wikipedia article under Popular Culture, in Walkabout, the 4th episode of the American television series Lost, John Locke incorrectly identifies Croucher as having climbed Mount Everest, a feat later accomplished by the New Zealand mountaineer and double amputee Mark Inglis. So, we here at Dharma Fish Biscuits would like to pay our respects to Mark Inglis, actually.
Justice for Mark Inglis. Yeah.
But so like in terms of what you're saying, where like he's really sad and he needs a better therapist and better CBT because he's not adjusting to his life. I think it's hard because he's not just being like, I refuse to accept that I can't do this. He's like looking to at least one person who is still able to achieve all of these things and being like, This doesn't have to hold me back. I can still keep doing it. And it's sort of hard to really know, like, what's the line between, like, determination and delusion?
I mean, it's a fair point, and I think it's a point that I would take on board more if it was just about the Walkabout stuff, but it's also about the Helen stuff.
Yeah, the Helen stuff is
That's
sad.
rough. That's rough stuff.
Yeah.
So the first flashback has him. He's addressed on the phone as Colonel Locke, and he's taking a call and looks really sort of secretive about it. And the first reveal that comes is, he's not like a military guy. He's in an office.
This is a personal call.
He's in an open plan office space in a cubicle. He has a boss who's a dick. And we kind of realize already there that, like, well, he's not a colonel, but Randy really, like, hammers the point home during the second flashback.
Yeah. I mean, there's not a lot more to say about the first one, so we go straight into flashback number 2, which is, Randy just being the absolute worst, most condescending asshat.
In a way, this was, like, my favourite scene for Locke as a character in the whole episode, because here he seems so self-possessed. He has dignity. He's calm. As much as Randy tries to, like, rile him up, he just goes, like, I'm playing a game. It's my lunch break. I can play a game. He doesn't let him get to him.
That's really interesting, because I did read it as Randy getting to him. Like, less than it would get to me, because I would simply be so ashamed and embarrassed. I would pack up and be like, I don't even like this. I've never heard of this game. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm going to go do what the cool kids do. But, like, the way he says, it's my lunch break. I'm allowed to do it on my lunch break. It almost feels like he's almost apologetic.
Oh, no, I
like,
really read that differently. I read that as him just being like, you cannot reach me. I let it wash over me. I'm not touched by your annoying criticism. And then later, you know, when Randy is once again kind of saying, oh, what's this I saw about a walkabout? Oh, you think you can do that? And he's just like, I have my vacation days. I'm booking my trip. There was a sincerity and just like a dignity to the way that he comported himself that I found really likable. And it's like not a side of Locke that we see very much either in flashbacks or on the island.
It's like sort of scene by scene we get like this more and more sad portrait of him, where like in the first one, like his boss is just making fun of him a bit. In the second one, we find that like his boss is really digging into him. In the third scene, we find that, this Helen person who he's talking to is not a friend. And then the fourth one, you're like, he also can't even go on this walkabout. And it's just like, every time it's just like more and more salt in the wound.
Twisting the knife. We also, during the second flashback, we get the first shout out for Don't Tell Me What I Can't Do. Ow, ow, ow. And again, he says it in a way that's just like, don't tell me what I can't do. Like, there's no aggression behind it. There's no... he's not being confrontational.
So this is really interesting, because I don't get that at all. And it's almost like you can sort of see the development of the don't tell me what I can't do throughout the episode as well. Because, again, I sort of get... when he says to Randy, like, don't tell me what I can't do, I still read it as this sort of, like, almost apologetic, where he's sort of telling himself what he should be telling Randy. He's being like, don't tell me what I can't do. And it's almost under his breath and like, I don't know. And I feel like it's not till the end that when he's in the travel agent, and I guess maybe that's the point, that like all of the things pile up on him to finally like yell at the top of his voice.
Another thing that Locke says during this game of Risk that he's playing with his colleague is patience is the hallmark of a leader.
Yes.
I think that's going to be worth... thinking a bit more about. I mean, obviously in the scene it's just another thing for Randy to kind of mock him about and be like, oh, you're not a leader, blah blah blah. But like we have a lot of candidates for leadership on the island, and we're going to see a lot of people step into that role, and I think it will be interesting to just bring with us as like which of them can show patience, which of them have patience, the quality of patience.
Yeah, it's also interesting that if Locke has internalized this idea of patience as the hallmark of the leader, then it's not until this episode that we really know anything at all about him. He has not really ingratiated himself to the group. He's not put himself forward as a leader. He's not shown them any of the skills he has. And this is like day 4. So could we maybe say, well, he is already exhibiting some patience of like biding his time until it's useful for him to put himself up, but also his skills are actually useful to the group. He's like, great, now's my time.
Good point.
That scene had loads of lines that I was like, this feels incredibly poignant. When he he says, a walkabout is a journey of spiritual renewal where one derives strength from the earth. And then he magically lands on an island where somehow he derives strength and is able to magically walk again.
And so Helen is referenced in the second one because his colleague who he's playing the game of Risk against says, oh, that's great. Have you told Helen yet? I think in regards to the walkabout.
Yes.
And obviously Randy's just like, oh, what, you finally got a woman in your life.
Describes it as having a woman. One more key line to point out before we move on from this scene. Is that what you think you've got, old man? A destiny? Oh, which is so poignant. Like, looking at where Locke goes, and obviously we will learn more about like Locke's internal thoughts and sort of spirituality, but just the fact that straight away from day 1 he's thinking about destiny, he's talking about destiny. So anyway, he's then on the phone to Helen.
Yeah, through the course of this phone call it becomes very obvious to us that she's a phone sex worker. He thinks that they have a real relationship. She feels sorry for him. She kind of tells him, like, if we don't end the call now, I'm going to have to charge you for another hour. It's going to cost $90. Whether or not he can afford it, I think it's more to do with the fact that, like, that, you know, it's she doesn't want to exploit him, and she is so uncomfortable with how this relationship and this conversation is developing. And the fact that she ultimately is the one to end the call is just, it was very tragic. And this is the point in which I have to go on a tangent about the name Helen, because that's my name.
How do you feel about your namesake in this TV show?
You know, I am constantly disappointed by the pop culture representation of Helens. We are almost always middle-aged women.
I'm trying to think of any Helens I know in TV.
We're almost always like quite boring and sort of musty and or sort of old-fashioned, or sort of, there's like no cool Helens that I can think of.
At least you've got Helen Zaltzman in real life.
There are real ones in real life. Like, we've got Helen Mirren, she's cool. Like you said, Helen Zaltzman, podcasting legend.
Yeah. I was going to say, if you're in an argument of Helens aren't all middle-aged, I don't think Helen Mirren is quite your
no, she's cool.
Counter argument. Well, back to Locke. I thought it was really interesting. I noticed that, like, in his house, his decor, he's got, like, a massive American flag on the wall. He's got a photo that looks like a really typically, like, it's like a helicopter and looks like there are like soldiers going in and feels like a really military photo. And even on the bedside table next to his bed, he's got like looks like a little beer stein sort of thing that's got more like mini flags in it. And I was like, wow, this is like a really patriotic apartment, and made me wonder whether this was just like part of his aspirational, like, if it's just him trying to be aspirational in his decor, or whether they had some ideas that maybe they were going to create this like military backstory for him, and maybe that was going to be related to how he couldn't walk.
That's interesting. I didn't notice any of that.
Well,
good job one of us pays attention.
Good job one of us is looking at the screen.
We come into the fourth and final flashback.
Yeah, so we get the final flashback, which is Locke arriving in Australia for his walkabout. He's arguing with the tour guide, who's saying, "What are you doing? You can't do this. You neglected to tell us about your condition.
You misrepresented yourself."
Yeah. And yeah, it just ends with the just absolutely tragic, "Don't ever tell me what I can't do. This is my destiny."
I feel like you have a lot of sympathy for him in that moment, because he starts off simply kind of defending his position, saying, "But well, I can do this. I just put me on the bus. Let me give it a try. I'll show you." In a way that you are really kind of rooting for him, but then it descends so quickly into this rage and this frustrated, pent up sort of anger and feeling of injustice. It is sad though that the company says, "We'll put you on a flight to Sydney on our dime. It's the best we can do," sort of thing. I was like, refund his fucking Walkabout tickets.
Also, surely Locke already had his like flights arranged and everything. Why would he need to be flown somewhere else on their dime?
Because he has to go home. Like, he can't go on the.
Well, yeah, but can you not
Walkabout.
just like hang? He can hang out in.
He could
hang out for a
in
couple of weeks
Australia.
or whatever.
That would actually be much more fun than going straight back
Yeah.
to Los Angeles. Yeah.
Also, like flying him back on their dime is not really anything because Locke has already paid for a flight. I'm also realizing as we're having this conversation that I guess it's quite hard to really, for us as two able-bodied people, to like draw the distinction between Locke being like delusional and pathetic about his situation versus like what is actually possible and how one does actually deal with such a disability to the extent where you will never be able to walk for the rest of your life.
You're right. We're not necessarily the people who are going to be in the best position to speak.
I guess I would like to say that it's not the fact that he can't walk. It's not even the fact that like he wants to be able to do things that are outside his ability. It's like sort of how he mentally sets himself up for these monumental things, but doesn't set up the circumstances around himself that he will be able to achieve these things, if that makes sense. Thinking about that in both what we're seeing right now, but also thinking about where he goes in the future, he sets up expectations for himself that he can never meet. Okay.
Let's get back to the island. So now we're going to talk about like primarily Locke-related stuff on the island. Vincent is barking. He's waking everyone up. There's a noise again. Oh my God, what is it? Everyone comes out. Like, the reaction that these people have to the appearance of a boar
extremely hyperbolic.
Is so we have seen them deal with a monster and they didn't go this crazy. Like, well, it was not deal with. We've seen them watch trees get torn down in the jungle.
Yeah.
And there wasn't this level of panic.
We've
People
seen Sawyer shoot a bear.
He shot a bear. Yeah.
And yes, Jack saying,
I guess it's partly the built up anxiety because they have been dealing with all of these monsters and problems and things, but it was just an extreme amount of
but I know
reaction.
like the anxiety I understand from like them all being quite nervous when they're trying to figure out what it actually is. But when they see the boar, the way they all like run away screaming, it's like...
Yeah, exactly.
I'm pretty sure one boar isn't going to do that much damage to like 30 people.
Yeah, like it is ultimately just a boar, guys.
Yeah.
I thought it was very funny when they initially realised there was like rustling in the cabin and Jack was like, "Oh, Sawyer." And the Sawyer's like, "Right behind you, jackass." I was like, hee. We're quickly getting into the phase where we love Sawyer.
Yes.
His worst moments are probably behind him at this point.
Yeah. Also, I really loved Hurley's reaction to everyone running away of being like, "Oh great, now what?"
Totally.
The next big thing, Hurley and Sawyer fighting because Sawyer's hoarding the peanuts.
Yeah, the food's running out.
So Jack comes and is like, "Hey, what's going on?" And Sawyer's like, "Stay out of this, Metro." And I'm like, what is he referring to here? I was like, does he mean metrosexual, or does he mean like Metro PD, like Jack's trying to be a cop?
Oh, that's interesting. I definitely went to metrosexual, and I thought it was such a hilarious burn. Also, because Jack is wearing
the incredible
this weird,
neck scarf,
neckerchief situation, and I was like, he does look really. I mean, metrosexual is a word that we had in the early noughties that we don't really use anymore because it was kind of like homophobic. But yeah, it's spot on, and I thought it was really funny.
Yeah. So then they decide they need to find some food, and they're like, "Oh, what are we gonna do?" And then Meow. In comes a knife with some like twangy Western music. The hunter is
hunt.
here.
Yeah. And it's great, like we just talked about all of Locke's delusions of grandeur and destiny and the sad life that lies beneath it. And in this island, in this place, with these people, in these circumstances, he can be the hero. He can be the person who...
He's providing for
He's
everyone.
the most valuable player, basically, to be able to hunt and he actually genuinely does have the skills. We see that when he's like tracking the boar.
Yeah.
This isn't just something that he read about on the internet. Like he genuinely, in many ways, was ready to go on that walkabout and has the skills that he would have needed.
Yeah, but also not just like the physical skills, because going back once again to what he said to Randy, where he says, a walkabout is a journey of spiritual renewal where one derives strength from the earth. And that's like exactly what happens here. He's had his like spiritual renewal and he's like, right, I'm ready. I'm here. I'm good to leap into action.
Jack tries to, he says, I can't remember exactly, maybe it's when he asks, and how did you... bring these knives with you, Mr. You know, as if to say sort of like, I don't think we've met, and I'm actually the main character on the show, and if you were important, then we would have met by now. Like, he's so giving, like, Mean Girls, Queen Bee energy.
So Locke also says that there's going to be a 250-pound rat. Is that a technical term for a boar?
Is that a technical term for a boar? I don't know, and I can't be bothered to Google it.
Okay. Well, Sawyer coming through with the excellent sarcasm once again when he's like, oh, 3 of you wandering in the magical forest to bag a hunk of ham with nothing but a little bitty hunting knife. Best idea I ever heard.
And then it's like, oh, but look at all my other hunting knives,
Look at the
bitch.
other ones. Yeah.
Honestly, it fucking rules that this show saved all of this Locke stuff until episode 4. The fact that they have kept Locke so... there's been so little Locke. We've only had these kind of few moments with Walt, a little bit with Michael, a little bit with Charlie, kind of tiny little sprinkles of Locke. And then, like, it was like when you said earlier that he's kind of displayed patience in the way that he's behaved on the island, but also, like, the show has displayed patience in the way that it's kind of like, we have some really cool shit coming, but we're not going to give it to you all at once. Thank you.
But also,
Lost.
It's not just Locke. Like, he's a really big one, obviously, but there's, like, other characters, and it's still kind of insane when, like, we still know absolutely nothing about Sun and Jin. We know, like, little snatches about Saeed. We know that he was in the Gulf War, but we don't know anything really about his life. Like, we don't know anything about Hurley.
Backstory.
Yeah, that, like... Basically, we don't know a lot about anyone, and I think this episode does a great job for the show of being like, oh, there's all these characters, but they've got some absolutely wild things going on. Just you wait. And I think it does a good job of like keeping you, like hooking you in to be like, okay, we'll see what else is going on here.
Before they set off, Jack and Kate have this kind of like an exchange that begins as a bit flirtatious, and Jack's like, oh, it seems like whenever there's like a trek into the jungle with risk of certain death, you're the first one to sign up. And she's like, oh, if I didn't know better, they would be worried about me. And then he goes fully like dead behind the eyes serious. Like, if I didn't know better, I would say you. What is it? What is his line? Did you write it down?
I'd say you have a problem staying in one place.
Yeah, he's so fucking psychotic. Like,
it's also like,
he's such a dick.
Just is this any of your business? But also B, I don't think Kate wanting to go on a trek through the jungle means she doesn't want to stay in one place. Maybe she just wants to be helpful, Jack. Have you ever thought of that?
Hate him. Play the jingle.
If Jack has no haters, I'm dead.
But also, like, of course, it turns out that he's right, and she says, "Oh, well, it's actually because I'm doing this thing for Saeed." And
yeah.
But I mean, I just found him to be a dick in that moment.
Yeah. Agreed.
With Michael going on the trek as well, of course, he has to engage a token woman as a babysitter, oh, I'll ask San, even though she doesn't speak English, we can't communicate with each other. But I mean, she's a woman, so
Yeah, this was quite insane. That
there are
like
also like, even if you want to be like a gender essentialist, there are other women on the island
Yeah.
who do speak English.
like sorry, there are canonically 48 people in this plane crash. 3 of you are going on the hunt, 1 of you is your son. There are 44 other people on this island. Like, and as you say, statistically speaking, 50% of them should be women, but also Claire, Shannon.
Okay, not Shannon.
These are
but...
well, these are women we know. I guess
Rose?
Rose, who is sitting on the beach not talking to anyone. Yeah, sure.
Hey, but I mean, sometimes it helps to be given a job, you know?
And to be fair, I laugh at that, but also, how effectively are Walt and Son going to be communicating?
I mean, they have their nice moment, but I think, you know, for whatever reason, the show is determined to build some kind of friendship or relationship between Son and Michael. So this is just the next step in that.
Yeah, and I think
place.
realistically that's where it comes from, and this is one of those moments where you can sort of see through the writer's clever.
I just really sympathise with
motivations.
Son. She must be like, are you fucking kidding me?
So I thought it was really interesting because she says something to Walt, and he just says, "Yeah, whatever," because he has no idea what she's saying, and she's got this like weird look on her face. And at first I was like, "Oh, it's probably because." The fact that Walt is being a bit of an asshole to her. But then she sort of like looks back after Michael, and I wondered whether part of it was also like her judging Michael for either leaving Walt or for just generally how he's been treating him. I don't know. Oh, if only we had an episode about Sun and Jin to start learning things.
But Michael's awkwardness in that scene, they really haven't like found Michael's character yet, I think. They gave him this really sort of like strange, over-the-top, cartoony awkwardness that we saw in the last episode as well when he encountered Sun showering. And it actually made me think of Ross from Friends. And that's
what a favourable comparison.
Never a comparison you want to find yourself caught in.
We're halfway through the podcast. We talk a lot, we know. Why not take this time to write a review? It helps more people find the show. Or pop us a little email, or simply tell a friend. We're gonna need some listeners if we're to make it from the pilot to the end.
The next thing that I have is that Michael and Kate actually have like a normal social conversation where Kate asks Michael about Walt, Michael asks Kate what she was doing in Australia, and it's like nice to see some people just like getting to know each other, because I feel like we don't get a lot of that.
Yeah, of course you can't have that kind of conversation for more than about 10 seconds until something dramatic happens. Also, obviously, Kate had to be interrupted, otherwise, you know, what would she say?
Yeah. Also, what were you doing in Australia? Whoa, we can't answer that right now. I did laugh when Kate got her teeny tiny little knife out when the boar's coming. Oh, they have a really sweet transition where he like falls over and he's lying down and is like, what's going on? And then,
Oh, you mean after they get attacked by the boar?
yeah, and then there's like the audio of them saying, "You've got to move, Colonel," and it like transitions into the flashback. But I really liked that them saying "You've got to move" was like overlaid to the shot of Locke like lying on the floor, panicked, looking around him.
Yeah. Oh, that really was. I thought that was really, really good as well. The bit where they get rushed by the boar and Locke sort of jumps away, Michael gets gored. And while they're sort of, you know, their response in the aftermath is Kate obviously immediately goes to help Michael. Yeah. She's like, we have to go back. We need to like patch him up and get back to the camp. And Locke initially is like so much in his own world. He is fully focused on like, fuck. Have I lost it, basically? Have I lost it again? Can I not walk again? And when he realizes, like, oh no, I can move my feet. Okay, he doesn't see anything. It's like he doesn't see anything around him. I had this thought a few times during this episode where Locke, from all the various phases and moments and places that we see him, he is so deeply self-centered, and I don't mean that necessarily in just being selfish, but that like he almost doesn't see the things that are happening outside of himself.
Yeah.
He only sees himself, his own emotional needs, his own emotional sort of reactions. He behaves as if the whole world is just going to adjust itself to accommodate him.
Yeah.
And speaking about which qualities make for good leadership, it's a terrible quality.
That is not it.
When you're on a group hunting trip, one of your team members gets like seriously injured, to just say, "Oh, you take him back to camp. I'll get the boar."
Kate's like, "We need to help Michael," and Locke's like, "Don't tell me what I can't do," and goes marching off into the jungle.
Don't tell me to help Michael. In fact, don't tell me anything.
And then Kate's like, "Oh, Michael's really injured. We need to take him back to camp. But also, sit there for a second while I climb this tree."
One moment, please. I wonder if Evangeline Lilly fucking loves climbing in her real life, because, I mean, Kate climbs so much during this show. And especially with this tree, you sort of like, Michael looks at it and is like, "You're going to climb that?" She's like, "Yeah, it'd be no problem." I was just like, this must be one of her special skills.
What she actually says is, "I've climbed worse things," which I'm like, what a weird thing to say.
Weirdly sexual, but okay. Yeah, hit that climbing Kate jingle.
She's climbing the vines, climbing everything that she finds. It's Kate, climbing Kate, climbing Kate.
And while she's up in the tree, she sees that the monster is moving towards
Yeah.
Locke. And we ultimately get to see that Locke is face to face. We get a bit of monster cam.
We get this pretty incredible shot. This is the first time we see it. It won't be the last, but we like see the point of view coming through the leaves and then like up above looking down at Locke, locking eyes with Locke, if you will. Pretty stunning.
Iconic stuff, I wrote. And it's a moment that we will return to because it's an important moment.
It's like it's weird because it's sort of a game-changing moment character-wise, but not audience-wise, because like Locke has now seen what the monster is. Locke has looked at it, but we as the audience don't know what he saw, and as we'll soon find out, he is not telling anybody what he saw. He is keeping that knowledge to himself.
Yeah. It's like what's the opposite of dramatic irony? Because a dramatic irony is when, like, we, the audience, know something that the characters don't. But if a character knows something that we don't, what is that called?
Dramatic irony, opposite words, irony.
Oh, is it just called irony?
Jack sees his little vision of his dad, goes running through the bushes. And who does he find in the bushes but Locke, carrying a boar.
Did you interpret as I did that the boar was like killed by the monster and Locke just dragged it back, or do you think that?
Oh,
because Locke was covered in blood, to be fair, so it might have been him.
yeah. I sort of assumed he had killed the boar, but I think it's totally reasonable to assume that perhaps the monster killed the boar. Okay.
And then back in the beach, Michael directly questions Locke about the monster. He says, Kate said that it was headed right towards you. Did you see anything?
Yeah.
Locke, stone cold, lies to his face.
Nope. I didn't see anything. That's a lie.
Time for the miscellaneous.
So they decide that they're going to burn all the bodies.
Unilateral Jack decides that they're going to burn all the bodies. It was really interesting to see people's reactions to this. I kind of had the reflection that, like, I guess cremation was a lot less mainstream in 2004 than it is now, because so many people in this group have an objection to the idea of burning the bodies. And I was just like, that's a cremation. It's pretty normal.
Yeah, but I feel like there is a difference between cremation and, like, openly throwing bodies on an open flame.
Yeah, but I mean, you got to work with what you've got. And also Jack's logic is sound. If they try and dig graves, then the beach will...
Yeah, bodies are not going to stay buried for long.
Although later in the show, we obviously do get some dug graves, and it seems fine. But I mean, this is too large scale, isn't it?
Yeah.
There were people ultimately come around to Jack's point of view, and then Claire has the lovely idea that they should have a service and maybe say a few words, read the names of the people who died.
Yeah. I was quite pissed off with this whole thing when, first of all, the fact she goes to Jack and is like, excuse me? Like, why do we need to go to Jack?
Stop deferring to Jack's authority challenge.
Well, because then Claire's like, here's Stephen Chris's wedding plans. And Jack says, I don't understand what I'm supposed to do with this.
It's like, were you expecting me to have a normal human emotion? No, I think it's funny because, like, there are going to be so many times in the show from here on out that I'm going to say, like, Jack is going to say something like, you guys chose me as your leader. I didn't choose it. I just, and I'm always really like, I don't agree that is what happens in the story. I don't agree that he is like chosen as the leader. But then in this moment where Claire comes up to him and says, we're going to have a service, maybe you can lead it. And then later Boone comes up to him and goes, there's roses over there. Like, I was wondering if you could talk to her. And I was like, okay, so basically lady. What happened was we had the crash and he kind of stepped in as a hero in the immediate aftermath. We have this episode where two people ask him for things. And from here on out, he's just like, I mean, they chose me as their leader. What can I do? It's just the hand I've been dealt. Anyway.
Yeah, I think there is something to be said for, like, people. I think people do naturally want a leader, especially if they are not someone who takes charge. A lot of people are followers more than leaders. And I do think that probably by putting himself up, first of all, whether that's because he just wanted to be a saviour or whether that's because he wanted to put his medical knowledge to use, Jack did put himself up that first time. And so I can sort of see why sometimes people then defer to him and be like, oh, he's the person we ask what to do. But it just pissed me off when, like, you don't need to ask him what to do about holding a memorial.
Yeah, and also the way that, he was so nasty and rude in responding to Claire when he says, like, oh no, it's like, and she's like, oh, okay, well, maybe I'll lead it. Poor woman, all she wants is like a little bit of encouragement. He goes, yeah, whatever everyone wants.
Sounds fine.
Whatever everyone wants. And it's just like, oh, like...
Fuck off.
It's such unnecessary being a dick. And also imagine if she'd said that to Saeed and he would have been like so encouraging and being like, yeah, that's a great idea. Maybe maybe someone else will want to get involved as well. Like, he would have been so community organizer, and Jack is just like,
yeah. I mean, that's the thing. It's also, Jack's also just like purposefully obtuse. I still can't get over, I don't understand what I'm supposed to do with this. It's quite obvious that Claire is being like, here are some things I know about people. Like, yeah, the response is, even if your response is, I don't have time or bandwidth to deal with this, be like, that's really nice. If you want to sort something out, I support you in that. But just being like, what do you want me to do? It's like, wow.
Totally.
So yeah, we see her a bit later going through some more of the stuff, and she finds an envelope for Saeed, our first hint at Saeed's backstory. Inside the envelope is a photo of a lady, and then a second photo that is just slightly more zoomed in. I know I always love to carry two photos with slightly altering zooms of my partner with me.
Yeah, they really did not try hard in the props department that day. But yeah, we get our first little hint of Nadia.
Yeah. And then a little bit later, Sawyer comes and gives Claire some papers, which I thought was actually incredibly sweet because, like, so far we've only seen him be antagonistic, starting fights, being sarcastic, and maybe I'm wrong, feel free to correct me. I think this is like the first time we see him sort of soften.
We saw him soften in the last episode when he accidentally shot the marshal in the lung and then had to deal with the fallout from that. So I feel like this is the new softer Sawyer that we're seeing.
Yeah, this is the first time we see him like do something nice for a person and be like, yeah, here you go.
And it's also like, they gave him a really hard, strong introduction as a total dick who's like a racist and extremely combative for no reason. And now it's like, okay, we've established that that's his basic character trait. Yeah. But like, now let's give him some depth. What else can we see him do? And I mean, we're just basically, he's just going to have like a real nice character arc from here on out, I would say. Yeah. There's that little moment, isn't there, when, Jack sort of has said, gather all the wood and blah, 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 everything you can. We'll light the fire at sunset. And someone asks Kate, why does he want to do it at sunset? And she goes, because he thinks someone might see it. Like, it's kind of like a little bit like the others looking at Jack and being like, oh, bless him.
Yeah.
He still thinks that there's a chance we could get rescued by doing this.
Oh. But yes, they have the memorial, they burn all the bodies, Claire's reading out the names.
Claire, don't give up your day job to become a public speaker. Oh, she does a nice job, but I mean, it's not her natural calling, is it?
She wore corrective lenses.
I guess she was connecting onto a different flight. All right. Oh, bless her. She does a nice job. Just don't become a podcaster.
Yeah. It's also your favourite time of the podcast, Helen. It's Yellow Jackets parallel time.
I'm going to write a jingle for this.
Oh, thank you. Please, I would absolutely love that.
No, the jingle is going to be about how
much you hate it.
I haven't seen Yellow Jackets, and yet you insist on bringing up Yellow Jackets.
Alex talks about Yellow Jackets, a show I've never seen.
They do a memorial for people, and it's the same sort of thing where they're like, we don't really know anything about these people. The iconic line being, she was going to see Oasis, and now she'll never hear Wonderwall again.
And while the actual ceremony is going on, Jack is sat on his own, off away on the beach.
Yeah, he's just
reflecting over the vision of that man in a suit that he's seen a couple of times.
Oh, I guess he could be reflecting, or he could just be thinking to himself, what do you want me to do about this memorial?
He's like, see, I
don't know these people.
Don't have anything to do with me.
I don't know that man. Sorry to that man.
I think he's probably reflecting over the vision that he keeps seeing.
Yeah, that seems,
I mean, because it seems to really
likely.
affect him. I have another thread that I want to go back to, if that's okay, and it's Saeed's technology.
That is where I was going, and I wanted to make a public apology on behalf of us.
I did edit out quite a lot of our ramblings about, oh, he's wasting his time collecting the electronics. It's still in there, but I edited a lot of it out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so, yeah, I've got to fully walk back those comments because he does have a plan, and it is going to help that he's collected the electronics. And I really love that little scene between him and Kate when she's sort of like, oh, what are you doing? And he explains his plan, like, there's an energy source on the island. If we something technology, then I can find it. Oh, and I think she's asking, like, oh, and you're going to be able to, like, identify the power source. And he does, like, this little smile. He goes, hypothetically, yes. It's just like, he's so pleased with himself. And Kate is also like, what can I do to help? It's interesting, isn't it, that he makes the comment that you seem to be just as keen to get off this island as I am. And she's like, well, lol, not really. But she is genuinely, like, keen to help and be of service. Oh, I had another thing about Saeed. I had a feeling there was something else. It's, like, right at the end when Kate has, like, fully dropped his little doodad from quite a high height and it's broken.
Oh, yeah, when he throws a little bit of a tantrum.
Well, and she's like, oh, can you fix it? He goes, well, I don't have a fucking soldering iron or any tools, and he does have like a little bit of a tantrum, but he very quickly like collects himself, and Kate takes his hand, and he's like, yes, we will try it again. And this was just another like Saeed, my president moment where I was just like, he is frustrated. It's natural that he would feel frustration in this moment, but he doesn't let it spill over into like some kind of toxic masculinity, aggression. He just feels his frustration and then he moves on and he's like, okay, we'll do it again. He's constructive. I love Saeed at this point in the story. He might be my favourite. I can't believe I've never had a chance to marry him in Fuck, Marry, Kill, because I mean, he'd be pushing Kate right out of the marital bed.
Wow, from your fave to mine. It's time for Shannon. Oh. Yeah, we can go to Rose. Those are essentially the two things I've got left, are Rose and Shannon.
Yeah.
Once again, Boone talking to Jack about Rose, and Jack says, I'm not a psychiatrist.
Yeah, and also I feel like, I mean, once again, if Boone had been talking to someone who was more interested in, like, seeing people empowered to take action themselves, I feel like there's a response you could give to Boone that is like, yeah, I'm a doctor, but you don't need any special skills to keep someone company and make them feel supported. Like, you can do this. Instead, he said, oh, why don't you do it? And Boone's like, oh, just thought that, because you're a doctor, whatever. And so then Jack does go off and do it. And I gotta say, maybe we need a jingle for, like, handing it to Jack, because he does a really nice job of
Yes.
keeping Rose
yeah.
company and giving her emotional support.
I mean, I think that's also partly down to Rose, because I defy anyone to be an asshole to Rose.
Well, fair. I mean, I think Jack could, but but he does a really nice job of it, and it's like he, by sitting there with her and removing himself from the group and all the goings on and all the planning and stuff, it's like he also can just take himself out of himself and just give himself the permission to be sat with one other person, having a moment, having a quiet sort of reflection.
But yeah, they just have this lovely conversation, which sort of ends with them talking about the memorial and Jack saying, "Oh, if you want to say some words about your husband."
She's like, "Wait, what?"
Yeah, she's just like, "What are you talking about?" I love the fact she isn't just like, "Oh, sorry, I believe he's alive." She like genuinely is confused and is like,
Talking about.
"What are you talking about? He's not dead."
I do love her line when Jack says, "Oh, but," I mean, quite patronisingly, like, "Well, the whole tail section of the aeroplane like came off. There's no way anyone could have survived that." It's like, yeah, I'm aware what happened, but then her response of saying like, "They're probably thinking the exact same thing about us." It's like, that's actually a really good point, because if you were in the tail section and somehow survived, then of course you would be like, "Oh, but they were in the main part of the plane that broke away. There's no way they could survive."
As we famously know, if any part of the plane breaks off, everyone is a paste. So you're both as equally unlikely to survive as the other half of the plane.
Yeah. There's one other little detail of their conversation, which is that Rose says, "Oh, you must be a really good doctor." One of the qualities that she compliments him on is that he's patient,
Yes.
which is relevant to our conversation earlier. I was like,
Oh, patience, the hallmark of a good leader.
yeah, and I was like, that must be deliberate. This is the show sort of like underlining like, Jack, leader. We think he's good. I disagree, but that's my own business.
While Jack is talking to Rose, he sees a man, and then later sees the man in the bushes. So something to pay attention to.
Weird that there's a guy in a suit, right?
Yeah, very, very weird, very bizarre. What could it mean? What could it be?
And then we have Fishgate.
Fishgate!
Fucking hell.
when I will say, boo for Shannon when Boone comes over to be like, "Oh, that lady's over there by herself," and she's just like, "What's a 4-letter word for I don't care?" Shannon, I think there's some room for some emotional growth here.
Yeah, it's a bit unnecessary, but I mean,
Yeah.
we're not quite done. If we're done with like painting the character of Sawyer with a broad brush, we're absolutely not done with doing that for Shannon. This is going to continue for a while longer.
Well, I mean, she's only a woman, Helen. How much character does a woman really need?
I mean, one character trait, maybe. That's what she's got.
Yeah.
I really hated the whole Fishgate thing. The way that, she's like, "Ocean's full of fish," and Boone goes, "Oh, well, bet you can't catch a fish." And she's like, meh, meh. And of course, she engages Charlie to do it for her. Charlie engages Hurley to do it together. But the thing that made me really sad was when, like, Charlie actually shows up.
The bit at the
and
end.
he has a fish for her, and he's so proud. And he presents it to her, and he's like, "We're going to be dining al fresco, sharing the catch of the day." The disrespect that both Shannon and Boone show for Charlie in that moment of being like, "Oh, you're just a pawn in our little weird sibling power game. You're not even a real person." And the fish gets taken right out of Charlie's hands. He doesn't even get to eat it. I am appalled.
Yeah, they're like slapping that fish around in a way that made me want to be sick. Like Shannon like grabs it and like fully with her hands is just like touching it, then like shoves it against Boone's chest, and I was like, please stop.
It gave, we've been quite pro Boone on this podcast, but this is a moment when I mean, he initially is just like, oh, I apologise for my sister. You've been manipulated by her. Charlie, bless him, is just like, no, it's all right. I don't need to apologise. But I mean, truly apologise for taking his fish away, my guys.
Yeah. I did, however, laugh out loud at the end of that scene when Shannon just says to Boone, go rescue a baby bird or something.
Yeah.
But also, here we go, Helen. Charlie, Shannon and Boone.
Oh, fuck, marry, kill.
3 characters in a scene. You know what that means. It's time for fuck, marry or kill. Fuck, marry or kill.
Would you care to partake?
We've got to give it a try. This is probably a harder one, right?
Like, for once, we've actually got 3 young, attractive people.
Oh, I that's not what I was thinking.
Oh, were you thinking?
I was thinking
you
more
hate
that
them
like
all?
there are pretty major downsides to all of them.
Oh, okay. Well,
I think okay. So based on what we know currently about each of these characters, it's got to be in my mind: marry Boone, fuck Shannon, kill Charlie. I don't think Shannon would be very good to have sex with because I think she would just be a little bit like she's not willing to put in any effort. But I don't want to fuck Charlie. So
nothing for Ian Somerhalder?
I'm marrying him.
No chance in the bedroom with Helen?
Yeah, but we're gonna be married, so that's fine. I'm more concerned with like, I absolutely am not gonna marry either of the others. I don't really want to have sex with either of the others, but this is just how the cookie has crumbled.
I guess I would probably.
You've been a bit more pro Charlie, and you're obviously very pro Shannon. So I'd be surprised if you went the same way.
Yeah, this is why I'm struggling because from a purely physical perspective, it would be Boone in my bed all day long. But then. Yeah, I don't think I really want to marry either of the other two. Because as much as I do love Shannon, I think being married to her would be a literal nightmare.
Wow, it's a real turnaround from the guy who's been #1 member of the Shannon fan club.
I know. We all have our limits, though, don't we? I'm going to join you. I'm going to fuck Shannon, marry Boone, kill Charlie. Great.
Do you ever, like, let your own sexuality play into these decisions? Or is it, like, the fuck, marry, kill transcends?
I would say I would let my sexuality play into it. But like I have to come up with the best compromise all round, and my sexuality playing into it.
It's like one of several factors.
Yeah, and like the sexuality factor here is fuck Boone. I just want to say we did skip over some of the fun japes that came through Fishgate. It actually sort of broke my heart when Shannon first goes to ask Charlie to help her, because like her flirting with him and him like being really pleased as punch that she's flirting, I was like, these two are actually incredibly cute together, but also Shannon is merely pretending to be cute.
Yeah, it would have been cute if it wasn't completely fake from Shannon's side, which it was. She didn't even let him finish his story about being in a band before she was like, so can you fish?
This is the thing. She's like, I need to ask it. And he's like, oh, I was waiting for this. I am the bass. Do you know anything about fishing? I'm like, oh, okay.
Did you also object to the dialogue line where Charlie says, oh, yeah, I mean, England is an island, so...
I didn't object. I laughed out loud.
I was like, okay, so Dominic Monaghan was like, fuck it, I can't be asked to argue over this. I mean, it's something that truly no British person would say, right?
But also Hurley and Charlie. I think this is like the first Hurley and Charlie fun scene we've had, and I feel like we'll have quite a few more of them. But them just trying to fish together, and
it was really nice, really nice
yeah.
scene, and it was a wonderful moment of like lightness.
Yeah.
And just they have a really great like friend chemistry together.
Yeah, and like Charlie throwing himself under the water and Hurley just there like howling his head off,
pissing his pants.
Yeah,
with laughter.
Just beautiful.
And the fact that like Hurley is fully like wading into the ocean, pretty much fully clothed.
Yeah,
he's like he's fully on board with this project.
Yeah.
I wrote in my notes like a little heart, Hurley Charlie friendship heart. It was like. Makes me really happy.
Yeah. Oh my God, we've missed what some may say is the most important part of the episode. Connor's Corner.
If you want aviation or medical information, welcome to Connor's Corner.
Okay, so Connor is not a fan of the burning everyone in place because it's a waste of resources. If the firewood is going to be wet, it's just going to make smoke. It's not going to make a signal fire. But also inside the plane, you can get wiring, you can get fabric, you can get aluminium, you can get plastic, either things that are useful themselves or can be fashioned into useful items. Boo for that. Also, very much would like to call bullshit on Locke being able to walk again. Not from the not from the magical mystery miracle element, but because after being paralyzed for 4 years, you would have massively underdeveloped musculature on your legs, and so you simply would not be able to just magically regain feeling and then be able to run and walk. Connor would have preferred, in this magical setting, a more medically sound scenario would have been if perhaps Locke could move his toes, but his back was still hurting, and then episode by episode he starts to be able to move a bit more as he gets more muscle in his legs.
I feel like Connor is really underestimating the healing powers of the island.
This is what I said, but he was like, well, it's one thing to heal a spinal cord injury, it's another thing to add muscle mass. No. Okay.
Well, we did come to corner, so what else can we expect?
And in terms of Saeed's antenna plan, Connor's retort is that you may as well put window wipers up out there if you're putting an antenna up without a radio, because an antenna would need to attach to a transceiver in order to do anything. If you
They
just
have a transceiver.
Yeah, but if you just put the antennas up, the only way they're going to do anything if they've got wires that run back to the transceiver, which they crucially do not have. Kate was just taking a static antenna that was connected to nothing and sticking it up a tree. And Connor did not like the quote-unquote bullshit about seeing people in the trees, because as a medical doctor, Jack should just be assuming that he's hallucinating and shouldn't be following these people into the trees.
This is truly what I come to Connor Corner for. Thank you.
There we go. There is your medical and aviation information for this week.
I appreciate it. Hot ranking.
Let's go for this convoluted ranking
system.
system.
I believe the system will make itself known as we continue to develop the podcast. So we don't need to worry too much about it. It'll sort itself out. Just tell me now who is your pick for hot ranking, top of the hot ranking.
Hot can be physical, hot can be emotional. Hot is whatever we decide, and everyone's attractive, but who's top of the ranking? Who's the hottest one on this island?
I'm going to say Claire, because I think that she did a really lovely job with the memorial. It was a really nice thing to do. It felt very wholesome, and it felt sort of healing and like a bit of closure for the other people there, to not just be like, well, we're just going to burn these random people, but to sort of like have a chance to sort of say goodbye to them and get some good feeling.
So you're saying that she was being morally hot?
Yeah, morally hot. I'm struggling because when I think hot, I think like physically hot, and that doesn't change so much for the characters across the course of the show.
Yeah, but I think it's fine that we can have an interpretation of hot that is multifaceted.
Yeah, okay. Well, in that case, my hot ranking for this week, I think, is Claire.
And I am going to say Saeed, which is going to move him up the hot ranking.
Oh, okay.
This is how it's going to work from now on, is I just decide what the ranking is and I tell you, because it's
great.
Based on the information that each of us inputs.
Are we allowed an anti-hot rating?
Yes, if you think someone should move down the hot rating.
I think Shannon really disgraced herself this week.
I actually really agree. We're going to move her to the bottom.
Oh, all the way to the bottom. Good lord.
Well, as in that just puts her below Claire. It doesn't put her below all of the other characters. She's still on the hot ranking.
Okay, fine. I'll believe your system.
Okay, hot ranking is as follows: Saeed, Kate, Sun, Boone, Claire, Shannon.
And if you go to our Instagram page, you will be able to see our hot ranking in visual form if, like me, you are deeply confused about what anything means.
You hear words, they just simply pass through without leaving any trace.
Come in and come out. Famously a very good trait for listening to podcasts.
Well, that's been our episode.
That has been our episode.
Thank you for listening.
It's been a great time.
If you like listening to our voices, please leave us a nice review. You can also always contact us. We are contactable through the medium of email, which is dharmafishbiscuitspod@gmail.com. We are also on the Instagram at Dharma Fish Biscuits Pod. We also have a Patreon that you can join for free. It will eventually cost money,
Free.
but right now it doesn't. And we're going to put some fun little stuff there. I was thinking maybe we put our jingles up there so the people can
Ooh, that's a nice idea.
do with them as they will. Well, maybe we'll write like a little behind the scenes post about each episode that goes up as well, and a bit like, you know, some of the trials and tribulations
behind
that
the
we
scenes
experience.
Oh, I was going to say behind the scenes of the Lost episode.
No, the
behind the
podcast.
scenes of the podcast episode.
Podcast.
Will we ever release the unedited 3.5 hour tabula rasa cut?
No,
No.
but we
No
can
one needs
write
to hear
but we
that.
can write a little Patreon post saying that we recorded for 2.5 hours and it was hell. Maybe
We
I
had
maybe I can just pull out the little quotes of me from that episode where I'm like, I'm in hell, this is torture.
Great. That's what you can look forward to for free on Patreon. Okay, well, see you next week for an episode about our favourite character.
I can't remember what it is you have to say.
It's Jack.
Oh shit, is it a Jack episode?
White Rabbit.
Ah.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed this recording.
I forgot that it was a Jack episode. Now I am, of course, slightly disappointed. But come back to the feed for a fresh hit of freshly squeezed Jack hate into your ears. Feel free to remove that.
I'm going to keep that in. And I'll see you in another life, Helen.
See you in another life, brother.